Hello everyone, welcome back to Crack Readme to another session of PIB. So today we are going to discuss some important news article of 16th January. So let's start. So the first news is 4th edition of States Startup Ranking has been launched. So first of all, some basics that State Startup Ranking was first launched in 2018, okay? And it is released by whom? It is released by DPIIT of Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Okay? So this is the basic fact that State Startup Ranking has been first it was launched in 2018 by DPIIT under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. So recently the 4th edition has been launched. Okay? So some key facts that India has the 3rd largest startup ecosystem in the world. These kind of facts you can use in your descriptive answers also. Okay? So Startup Mahakumbh will be scheduled in March 2024. When will this Kumbh will happen? We will discuss about this thing. Okay? So and under this news there was also one fact that 31 states and UTs have formulated their own startup policies. Okay? This is an important fact that you should remember. Now let's discuss this ranking. So 4th edition of State Startup Ranking has basically witnessed the highest ever participation. Okay? This ranking 4th edition has witnessed the highest ever participation with 33 states and UTs. Okay? Now the states, first of all, why States Startup Ranking is released by DPIIT? Basically to recognize these efforts of states and UTs that they are making to develop startup ecosystem in the country. So basically the states are evaluated across 7 broad reform areas. Basically these are the 7 parameters on the which states are evaluated. States and UTs are evaluated. Okay? So the first parameter is institutional support. Second is fostering innovation and entrepreneurship. Third is access to market. Fourth is incubation and mentorship support, funding support and capacity building of enablers. And the last one is roadmap to sustainable future. And I hope you know the sustainable development. You know about sustainable development goals, which talk about we want to make the world a sustainable place. Okay? Now for the purpose of basically evaluation, states are further categorized into 2 groups. First group, A group, is basically in this the states and UTs which has a population of more than 1 crore, they are categorized in category A. And the category B, the states includes which has a population of less than 1 crore. Okay? Now, so basically this is a brief of this ranking result. Okay? So 5 states is in the best performer category, 7 states is in the top performer category, 8 are in the leader category, 4 are in the aspiring leader category, and 9 are under the emerging ecosystem category. Okay? In this, you should remember that these are the 1, 2, 3. These are the 5 categories. Okay? And 5 states are under this category and 7 states in this. Why you have to remember this? How many states are in these categories? Because in 2023 RBI has asked the question that how many states are there in the best performance category. So this kind of question can be asked in NABARD and SEBI exam also. So you should remember that how many states are in the particular category. Okay? Now let's discuss the ranking. Okay? So for the category A states in which the population is greater than 1 crore, in the best performer category, Gujarat topped the list, followed by Karnataka, followed by Kerala and Tamil Nadu. For this, you should remember all these 4 states' name, okay? Because obviously it is a very important fact. It can be asked in your examination, okay? The next is top performer category. In this, Maharashtra has topped the list, followed by Odisha, followed by Punjab. In this, you should remember only these 3 names, okay? And in the leader category, Andhra Pradesh top, followed by Assam, Madhya Pradesh, UP and Uttarakhand. Okay? In the aspiring leader category, In the aspiring leader category, Bihar has topped the list, followed by Haryana. ठीक है. Now in the emerging ecosystem category, Chhattisgarh, then Delhi, then Jammu and Kashmir. Now this news is very important. I know बहुत सारा फैक्ट हो गया इसमें, बट यू हैव टू रिमेंबर द नेम ऑफ द स्टेट्स बिकॉज इट कैन बी आस्क्ड इन द एग्जामिनेशन. ठीक है, इट कैन बी आस्क्ड इन योर phase 1, इवन इन phase 2 ऑल्सो. ठीक है, सो लेट्स टॉक अबाउट द कैटेगरी बी स्टेट्स. So category B basically the population less than 1 crore. ठीक है, so in this case the best performer is Himachal Pradesh, top performer is Arunachal Pradesh, followed by Meghalaya, leader is Goa, followed by Manipur and Tripura. ठीक है, leader is Goa, followed by Manipur and Tripura. ठीक है, now the next is in the aspiring leader category, Andaman and Nicobar Island top the list, followed by Nagaland. ठीक है, and in the emerging ecosystem category, Chandigarh top the list, followed by Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Ladakh. ठीक है, with the state startup ranking, National Startups Award was also launched, and there were n number of startups. But I have picked some important startups for you. So, what I believe you should remember only these two because it can be asked. Because this is related to the Sustainability Champion category. So, for the Sustainability Champion category, National Startup Award has been awarded to Eki Automation Private Limited, Breath Applied Sciences Private Limited, and Green Vero Global Private Limited. ठीक है, and another important fact is in the women-led innovation category, Autocracy Machinery Private Limited has been awarded with the National Startup Award. ठीक है, and another one of the most important fact of this news is best startup of the year. Who is the best startup? It is SAF Automobile Services LLP of Andhra Pradesh. ठीक है, as initially I told you that state startup ranking was launched in 2018 and it is released by DPIT, that is Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. ठीक है, so the next news says Shri Goyal, that is Ministry of Commerce and Industry, calls for greater collaboration and mentoring through Marg portal. ठीक है, so basically he wants to encourage greater collaboration and mentorship under Marg portal. So let's discuss some important fact about Marg portal. So this portal was launched in which year? This portal was launched in 2023. ठीक है, Marg portal was launched in 2023 under which scheme? Under Startup India Mission. ठीक है, you should remember these two facts that Marg portal was launched in 2023 under National Startup India Mission. ठीक है, what is the full form is this Marg portal? Its full form is Mentorship, Advisory, Assistance, Resilience and Growth. Basically this portal wants to provide mentorship, advisory and assistance to whom? To startups. Why? To make them resilient so that they can grow in the future. ठीक है, in this way you can remember that Marg portal, under Marg portal we provide them mentorship, advisory, assistance. Why? Basically to make them resilient. ठीक है, so that they can grow in the future. ठीक है, I hope now you will remember the full form of this portal. ठीक है, now the next thing is, now who are eligible to apply for mentorship under this portal? So this is an important fact that all DPIT recognized startups are eligible to apply for mentorship platform all year around. ठीक है, if your startup is a DPIT recognized startup, then you are eligible to apply for mentorship under this portal. ठीक है, the first mentorship session was focused on from idea to execution, building a solid business plan, and the second mentorship session was focused on understanding the business structures and processes to incorporate an entity. ठीक है, and the next news says Prime Minister inaugurated new campus of National Academy of Customs Indirect Taxes and Narcotics. So first of all, new campus has been inaugurated. So where it is inaugurated? It is inaugurated at Palasamudram, Sri Sathya Sai district of Andhra Pradesh. ठीक है, and it will be spread in an area of 500 acres. So what this academy will do, National Academy of Customs, as its name says, this academy is related to customs, indirect taxes and narcotics. So this academy is now the apex organization of the country. That will do what? That will basically provide training and facilitate capacity building among the professionals that are related to the customs, indirect taxes and narcotics. ठीक है, it will basically do capacity building in the field of indirect taxes and narcotics control administration. And remember the important fact that this academy is recognized by World Custom Organization. ठीक है, you should remember this fact that this academy is recognized by World Custom Organization. ठीक है, as I told you that it will impart training to the officials of Indian Revenue Services that is related to the customs and indirect taxes, as well as to central allied services, state governments and partner nations that is in the field of custom, indirect taxes and narcotics. ठीक है, next news is just a one fact that you have to remember. The news is not important that they inaugurated new flight route. ठीक है, this is not important, but there was one important fact that you have to remember, that Asia's first helicopter training institute. Basically, it's a helicopter training institute where will be the officials will be provided training with respect to the helicopter. ठीक है, now this first helicopter training institute is set up at where? It is set up at Khajuraho, Madhya Pradesh. It is an important fact. ठीक है, it is an important fact that where is Asia's first helicopter training institute has established? It is established in India. Where? Khajuraho, Madhya Pradesh. ठीक है. Now the next news says Ministry of Commerce and Industry commencement of work on the Trade Connect e-platform. First of all, there was a meeting, second meeting of Board of Trade that held in New Delhi. ठीक है, Board of Trade का meeting हुआ, which was hosted by whom? Which was hosted by Ministry of Commerce and Industry. And in this meeting, they initiated the process of making a Trade Connect e-platform. ठीक है, what they want to build a Trade Connect e-platform. As its name suggests, it wants to do a trade connection. That means basically this platform will become an intermediary between whom? Between the Indian exporters. Basically, this platform will become an intermediary platform that will connect Indian exporters with the various stakeholders of international trade. ठीक है, this platform will connect whom? Indian exporters to whom? To various stakeholders in the international market. ठीक है, now how this portal basically help the Indian exporters? See, when by using this platform, Indian exporters, basically this app will help in getting them advice from the government expertise and with respect to following things like what are the rules and regulations in various markets so that they have easy access to market. ठीक है, and it will also help them in taking the advantages of free trade agreements. ठीक है, next news says to ensure safety, accessibility and sustainability in construction, Bureau of Indian Standards has issued standardized development building regulations. So the key fact here is Bureau of Indian Standards. That who has released this standard? These regulations, it is released by Bureau of Indian Standards. So first fact that you have to remember is this. ठीक है, and why Bureau of Indian Standard has released these regulations? Basically to align the building regulations with what? With National Building Code of India 2016. Basically, the Bureau of Indian Standards wants to align the building regulations with National Building Code of India 2016. Why? Basically to streamline the building regulations and to make a construction act and to make the construction of building more environmental friendly and more accessible. ठीक है? So the news is only this. Next news says CDS General Anil Chauhan to inaugurate 9th chapter of CapStar. ninth chapter. So remember this fact that this is a ninth chapter of what? Of CAPSTAR. So what is the full form of this CAPSTAR? CAPSTAR stands for Capsule on Science, Technology and Research. ठीक है, so you should remember the full form of CAPSTAR. The full form is Capsule on Science, Technology and Applied Research. And where it will be inaugurated? It will be inaugurated at Military Institute of Technology, Pune, Maharashtra. ठीक है, so there are three facts that you should remember, that this is a ninth chapter of what? CAPSTAR. What is the full form of CAPSTAR? Capsule on Science, Technology and Applied Research. ठीक है, and ये कहाँ inaugurate किया जाएगा? It will be inaugurated at Military Institute of Technology, Pune, Maharashtra. ठीक है, now what is the theme of this capsule? The ninth chapter of CAPSTAR theme is Artificial Intelligence Transforming Warfare. That means here we want to use artificial intelligence for the Indian Armed Forces so that they can use artificial intelligence, they can use technology. ठीक है, so that they can use technology and win in the many wars, and basically it will help them in capacity building of their forces. ठीक है, so some important facts about Military Institute of Technology, which is at Pune, Maharashtra. So it was raised on 19 January 2012. You don't have to remember this, just remember this fact. ठीक है, it is basically a successor of Institute of Armament Studies, and its motto is Victory Through Technology, that we want to win with the help of technology. ठीक है, next news talks about National Conference on Fisheries and Aquaculture Insurance in Hybrid Mode. So this conference was organized. Where it was organized? It was organized at Pusa, New Delhi. This is important fact. ठीक है, you should remember. And as this conference talk about insurance, so there was certain basically the government talked about many insurance related initiatives for fishermen, as this was chaired by Ministry of Fisheries. So insurance, they talked about many initiatives related to insurance for what? For fisheries sector. So one of the important schemes that they talked is Group Accident Insurance Scheme. ठीक है, so Group Accident Insurance Scheme, as its name suggests, it is an accidental insurance scheme that is given to whom? That is given to basically fishermen. ठीक है, that is given to fishermen, fisherwomen, fish workers, fish farmers and other directly involved in fishing and fisheries related allied activities. ठीक है, so when this scheme was launched, this scheme basically is a sub-component of which scheme? Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana. So you have to tell me in the comment box that when was Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana was launched. ठीक है, so it is a sub-component of Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana. It was launched in 2020-21. ठीक है, why it was launched? Basically to provide a accidental insurance to fishermen and fish workers and other individuals that are related to the fisheries sector and allied sectors. ठीक है, and now here is the age limit for which the insurance cover will be provided. The age limit is 18 to 70 years. ठीक है, the facts that you have to remember is its launch date 2020 to 2021 में लॉन्च हुआ था. कौन सी स्कीम में हुआ था? मत्स्य संपदा योजना. एज मत्स्य संपदा योजना इज द सेंट्रली स्पॉन्सर्ड स्कीम, सो ऑब्वियसली दिस स्कीम विल, एज इट इज अ सब कॉम्पोनेंट ऑफ दिस स्कीम, सो इट इज ऑल्सो अ सेंट्रली स्पॉन्सर्ड स्कीम. ठीक है, एंड एज ग्रुप कितना है? 18 to 70 years. So these are the three key facts, I mean 4 facts that you have to remember. ठीक है, now let's move it. As I told you, it's an accidental insurance scheme. So what is the insurance coverage? In case of accidental death and permanent total disability, the coverage is 5 lakh rupees. ठीक है, in case of permanent partial disability, the coverage is 2.5 lakh. The coverage is 2.5 lakh in case of permanent partial disability. ठीक है, in case of accidental hospitalization, you will get rupees 25,000. Now, as in any insurance schemes, you have to pay certain premium to get the benefit of that in that scheme. But in this scheme, no beneficiary contribution is required. That means the fishermen and the fisherwomen need not have to. They don't have to pay any contribution. ठीक है, they just have to register in the scheme, and if any of these things will happen, they will get the compensation. ठीक है. And the next important fact about this scheme is it is managed by Providence India Insurance Broking Private Limited. It is an intermediary of whom? Of MS Oriental Insurance Company Limited. Okay, this is an important fact that you should remember, that this claim is managed by Providence India Insurance Broking Private Limited, which is an intermediary of MS Oriental Insurance Company Limited. Okay, so National Fisheries Development Board is basically the nodal agency for the implementation of this scheme, because National Fisheries Development Board is also a nodal agency for the implementation of Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana. Okay, and this scheme, that is Group Accident Insurance Scheme, comes under the Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana. That's why the nodal agency for implementation is National Fisheries Development Board. Okay. Another initiative that they talk about is there's a launch of pilot scheme on aqua crop insurance. Okay. So this scheme is for aqua crop insurance, and it is specifically for two crops. Which crop? This is shrimp crop and fish crop. Okay. If any yield loss arises due to any non-preventable risk. Non-preventable risk means like because of the tsunami or because of the floods, etc. Okay. So this aqua crop insurance is scheme for two crops, that is shrimp crop and fish crop. Okay. And it will be provided against the yield loss due to non-preventable risk. Okay. As I told you, it's a pilot scheme. So the pilot states are Odisha, Assam, Madhya Pradesh, Goa, Karnataka and the UT of Puducherry. Okay. Now, National Fisheries Development Board will provide assistance in insurance premium at 20% for general category and 30% for women category. For example, if the insurance premium is rupees 100, so in this case National Fisheries Development Board basically will provide this 20% for general category. That means out of this 100 rupees, National Fisheries Development Board will provide 20 rupees, and the rest of the 80 rupees will be given by the beneficiary. Okay? So 20% of the insurance premium will be given by the NFDB in case of general category, and in case of SC, ST and women category, 30 rupees will be provided by the NFDP. That means 30% of the insurance premium will be provided by whom? By NFDP. Okay? Next scheme is basically, it is specifically for whom? It is specifically for shrimp crop. Okay? Remember this fact that this scheme is specifically for shrimp crop and it is devised by ICAR SIBA. You should remember this fact. It is very important, and it is devised by ICAR SIBA with the Alliance Insurance Brokers through OICL. ठीक है? And here is the differential premium range. यानी कि प्रीमियम का जो रेंज है, it is around 3.7% to 8.5%. Here there is no fixed premium. The premium can range from 3.7% to 8.5% based on the circumstances of farmers. ठीक है? Fishing farmers. ठीक है? The next thing they talked about is insurance coverage for fishing vessels under Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana. ठीक है? This insurance coverage is provided for fishing vessels. ठीक है? It is provided for fishing vessels, and it is launched under Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana. So in this case, government will provide subvention of up to 40% on annual premium amount for general category and up to 60% for SC, ST and women category. So these basically you just have to remember this fact in this scheme. Okay? Now the next news says Union Minister Rao Inderjit Singh launches the MP Lads E-Sakshi mobile app. Okay? So basically, first of all, E-Sakshi mobile app has been launched. Under which scheme? Under MP Lads scheme. You should remember this fact that E-Sakshi mobile app has been launched under MP Lads scheme. Now what this scheme is all about? MP Lads scheme basically encourages the elected representatives to take some development activities in their respective constituencies. Okay? With the help of this E-Sakshi mobile app, now it will be very easy for them elected representative to propose, track and oversee the projects at their fingertips. That means with the help of this app they can easily track the how कि कितना काम उनके डेवलपमेंट प्रोजेक्ट्स पे हो गया है और कितना काम कितना करना अभी बाकी है. ठीक है. इट विल प्रमोट ट्रांसपेरेंसी ऑब्वियसली बिकॉज विद द जस्ट वन टच वन क्लिक ऑफ द ऐप दे कैन बेसिकली ट्रैक देयर प्रोजेक्ट्स हाउ द प्रोजेक्ट्स आर गोइंग. ठीक है. एंड बेसिकली this app has the feature of budget management also. ठीक है. Now the next news is Competition Commission of India approves amalgamation. This kind of news only important for phase 1. ठीक है. So इसमें आपको कुछ ज्यादा नहीं करना है, बस ये देखना है कि कौन कौन से फर्म्स का अमेलगमेशन हुआ है. सो अमेलगमेशन किसका हुआ है? श्री राम GI होल्डिंग्स प्राइवेट लिमिटेड. ठीक है. विथ श्री राम जनरल इंश्योरेंस कंपनी लिमिटेड. ठीक है. जस्ट यू हैव टू रिमेंबर द नेम ऑफ दीज टू private limited companies. ठीक है. The next news says join forces to boost employment for Divyangjans. Basically, to boost employment opportunities for whom? For Divyangjans. That is for person with disabilities. Department of Empowerment of Person with Disability and National Human Resource Development Network has joined hands so that they want to basically promote employment opportunities for Divyangjans. For this reason, these both organizations have joined hands. ठीक है. And you have to remember the name of these two organizations. That is Department of Empowerment of Person with Disabilities under Ministry of Social Justice and National Human Resource Development Network. ठीक है. How will they promote employment opportunities for them? With the help of PM Daksh DEPWD digital portal. ठीक है. Now this portal was launched in 2023. By whom? By Ministry of Social Justice. With the help of this portal, basically they want to connect the person with disabilities with companies so that they have access to various employment opportunities that is released by the companies. ठीक है. Now the next news is Shri Nitin Gadkari says road safety is topmost priority. So there was some event in which he mentioned one important target that you should remember because it can be asked in your phase 1 examination. ठीक है. So this says that Ministry of Road and Transport and Highway has set a target of to reduce road accidents by 50% by 2030. That means Ministry of Roads wants to reduce the road accidents by 50% by 2030. You just have to remember these two facts that by 50% by 2030. ठीक है. Now he talked about 4 E's of road safety. Now what are these 4 E's of road safety? It can be asked in the exam. So the first is engineering. That means we want to build a kind of a roads that have proper spacing so that any mishappening does not occur. ठीक है. Second talks about enforcement. ठीक है. Second is enforcement. Enforcement means we want to enforce the rules and regulation. We want to enforce the safety regulations at the ground level. ठीक है. Next is education. Education means we want to educate people about the safety measures that they can take while driving their cars or vehicle. ठीक है. Next is emergency medical service. Fourth he says emergency medical service. That means in case of any mishappening occurs, then we will be able to provide them medical service immediately. ठीक है. So there was a talk on report on roads and accidents. So let's have a look at it. So this report says there is an increase in road accidents by 12%. ठीक है. This says that there is an increase in road accidents by 12%. Increase in road accident death is by 10% from the last year. And every hour there are 53 road accidents and 19 deaths. This shows the severity of road accidents. ठीक है. And because of all these road accidents and road accident deaths, it resulted in loss of 3.14% to India's GDP. ठीक है. And this report also mentions that 60% of the road accident deaths are in the young age group of 18 to 35 years because we are not taking the necessary safety measures. Because of this, 60% of the deaths are in the age group of 18 to 35 years. ठीक है. So the next news says REC Limited issues inaugural yen denominated green bonds aggregating to 61 billion Japanese yen. So in this case, you have to remember this fact that yen denominated green bond has been released by whom? By REC Limited under REC initiative of US dollar 10 billion global medium term notes program. ठीक है, it is a program of whom? It is a program of REC Limited. Under this program, it has launched the yen denominated green bonds. ठीक है, and REC Limited becomes the first Indian PSU to launch such kind of bond in the international market. That is yen denominated green bonds. ठीक है. Tenure is basically 5 years, 5.25 years, 10 years with an interest rate of 1.76%, 1.79% and 2.2%. ठीक है, and remember this important fact that it is the largest ever euro yen issuance and non-sovereign yen denominated issuance in South and Southeast Asia, and obviously it is the largest yen denominated issuance from India also. ठीक है, these are the two very important facts that you should remember, that it is the largest ever euro yen issuance and non-sovereign yen denominated issuance in South and Southeast Asia and from India also. ठीक है, so this is all about this news. Now the last news talks about that Ministry of Heavy Industry highlighted the salient features of PLI scheme for automobile and auto component industry. So we will discuss some key facts about this scheme under this news. So PLI scheme for automobile and auto component industry. So basically this scheme is of Ministry of Heavy Industries, and this scheme wants to encourage the automobile industry to basically to manufacture zero emission vehicles so that we can promote cleaner mobility in the country. ठीक है, so let's discuss some key facts about this scheme. I told you the objective, now discuss some key facts. So this scheme was launched in 2021. One important fact that this scheme was launched in 2021. ठीक है, another thing, under Ministry of Heavy Industries, that means this scheme has been launched by Ministry of Heavy Industries. ठीक है, with a total budgetary outlay of 25,938 crores. ठीक है, in this you have to remember three facts, that it was launched in 2021 under the it has been launched by Ministry of Heavy Industries and with a budgetary outlay of 25,938 crores. You don't have to remember the exact amount, just remember the approximate amount. ठीक है, that under this scheme around 25,900 crores is a budgetary outlay. ठीक है, so initially this scheme was launched for a period of 5 years, that is from fiscal year 2022-2023 to fiscal year 2026-2027. But recently, this scheme is extended by 1 year till the financial year 2027-28. This is a very important fact because this scheme is recently extended by 1 year till 2027-28. Earlier, this scheme was from fiscal year 2022-23 to fiscal year 2026-2027, but now it has been extended by 1 year till 2027-28 financial year. Okay. Now under this scheme incentive will be provided. Okay, for a total period of 5 years. Okay. And it will start from which financial year? It will start from 2023-24 to 2027-28 financial year. ठीक है, this is a very important fact that investment incentive will be provided for a period of 5 consecutive years, and it will start from fiscal year 2023-2024 to till 2027-28. ठीक है, and in this scheme there is some domestic value addition criteria. ठीक है, so in case of 3-wheeler category, the first company that has met this criteria is Mahindra & Mahindra, as it is the first company, so obviously you should remember this fact also. ठीक है, and in case of 4-wheeler and bus category, Tata Motors has met this domestic value addition category, and in terms of two-wheeler category. In terms of two-wheeler category, Ola Electric has become the first company to meet this domestic value addition criteria. ठीक है. So that's it for today's class. I hope you understood each and every news. If you have any doubt, then please do mention in the comment box. Thank you so much for being a patient listener. I will soon cover all the pending PIBs. So be patient. Thank you so much.